So, I was on vacation for a few weeks and was on quite a few different flights. And I don't know if this is the case with most people, but traveling by plane always gives me a bit of anxiety. If I have to fly anywhere, I'm always worrying about a bunch of different things. Things like getting stuck in traffic on the way to the airport, getting stuck in a super long lineup to get through security, somehow accidentally having packed something illegal in my suitcase and getting arrested, or the flight being even slightly delayed if I have a connecting flight. But I think one of the things I worry about the most is getting to my seat and not having any space in the overhead compartments to put my carry-on. The thought of them being full with everyone else's suitcases by the time I get there is a total nightmare. And because of this, whenever I fly with a carry-on suitcase, I get into the boarding lineup pretty early on, just to ensure that this doesn't happen. Now, I know this is a pretty irrational fear. If you can't find space in the overhead compartments near your seat, there's normally space further down or further up. The flight attendants usually help you find space in these situations, and if they absolutely need to, they can check your bag. Obviously, this isn't ideal, as now you'll have to wait to get it at the end, but it'll still get to where it needs to go. And because I feel this way, I always put my personal item, usually my backpack, under the seat in front of me, so as not to put anyone else through this degree of stress. And it actually really frustrates me when I see people get to their seat early and start to put their smaller things in the overhead compartments, rather than under the seat in front of them. I feel like the overhead compartments are meant to be for suitcases first, and then personal items and smaller things only if there's room after that. It's pretty inconsiderate of you to be taking up someone's potential suitcase space with your jacket, or your purse, or your shopping bag, or your backpack. Those things could go and should go under the seat in front of you. You're making things much more difficult for people who might be trying to find suitcase space later on. And yeah, maybe the flight attendant might step in and ask you to put the smaller things under the seat, but you're essentially forcing them to do that, and only doing that because you have to. Yes, these are all the negative thoughts I have in my head while boarding a plane, but I've noticed that I also feel this way in other situations, where someone who's earlier in line takes more than their fair share of a limited amount of space or resources. Personally, if I'm early in line, I'm very conscious about wanting to make sure that everyone gets their fair share. If there's 10 people at the table and I'm the first one to take from a plate that only has 8 servings, I might try to take part of one, or I might offer to split it with someone so as not to take more than my fair share. If that's not an option, then yeah, I might take one. But no way would I take 2. And I've seen people do that before. You're taking 2, which means 2 people further down the line won't get any? Yeah. If I'm early in line, I'm very conscious about not wanting to take more than my fair share. But on the flip side, if I'm late in line, I'm also very aware of how much the people in front of me are taking. I'm constantly checking to see if anything will be left for me, and I'm also looking to see who might be taking more than their fair share, which people sometimes do. And to be honest, that always baffles me. To me, that just signals a complete lack of awareness at best, or total selfishness at worst. And I find both things to be incredibly inconsiderate. And I mean, sometimes you may not realize you're taking more than your fair share. It's hard to tell sometimes when you're early in line and you have lots of options to choose from. Ultimately, I think it's up to whoever's organizing or running things to ensure that everyone gets their fair share. But there aren't always people to police things. And in these cases, I know that if I see someone taking more than their fair share, which results in me getting less, I would be more than happy to return the favor if the tables get turned. And I'm sure that most people would justifiably also feel the same way. So at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt to take steps to help ensure that you get your fair share, but also something to consider the next time you find yourself in a position to take your share, or more than it, before others can take theirs. Being greedy may get you more of something in the short term, but it rarely pays off in the long run. In the end, you'll probably end up getting your just desserts. Anyway, that's it for today. If this resonated with you or you found this insightful, your thumbs up is appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos on personal development and self-improvement. And let me know in the comments about your airport anxieties. Do you worry about overhead compartment space as much as I do? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.